Guys, this morning for Digital Coats of Paint, we want to just do some quick role-playing exercises with the team here. We're asking for some volunteers. We're going to be talking about mobile, targeted impressions, and SEO brand building. Those are the three things. I know this past week we've had a lot of trainings. We had last Friday mobile. On Monday we had not only SEO brand building, but we talked about own local, and then we also talked about branded content. So a lot of things going on. We're going to cover branded content in a future DCOP session, but for today we want to just make sure that everyone, we're sharing some insight and lyrics on how to get our customers talking more about mobile and targeted impressions, and making sure that we're discussing that with them, as well as opening up discussions for brand building. So here's the agenda. I want to share with everybody very quickly a campaign insights update. It's just something very quick, but it might help you when you're doing some searches, particularly for any customer that may have expired or not currently running a geo campaign, but that you want to go back to get some information about. So I'll show you that in just a moment, and then we'll go through our scenarios, mobile, targeted impressions, and SEO brand building. So let me just show you guys just very quickly the change to the campaign insights. So I'm on the campaign insights dashboard, and how this came up is that I was looking for a client who ran a Facebook event campaign. So it's very short. It was a 2-month campaign that just ended at the end of July. So when I went in to search for that client, which is Lion Event Organization, I just used the keyword Lion, and I didn't see it. It wasn't showing up at all in my drop-down list, where previously it was when I just used that search term Lion. So some confusion ensued. I contacted the geo rep, and he said you need to activate inactive clients because it is no longer running. That's how you can see this. Now, I think this is an update that happened when they added the display information to the Insight dashboard. And my guess is it was done as a means to save some space or make things less convoluted. Regardless, if you have a similar situation like that, well, let's say you had a client who ran pay-per-click last year and you wanted to use them as a case study, even though they may have ended, you have to click the View Inactive Clients button, which is in the right-hand corner. Once you click on that, go back in and do your search term, and then you'll see that the inactive client will show up. So it looks like they're putting clients that have ended campaigns into inactive, and you'll see that next to it, it says inactive. So it looks like they're systematically going through and moving some of these to inactive. So just so you're aware of it, so when you click on it, you'll go back and get the old information. Does that make sense to everybody? If you have any questions on it, Brett and I can show you where it is, but it's just a simple clicking on the corner there. So,
hey Scott.
Yeah.
We were talking about too that this is the information data back here ends up being retroactive too.
Yes. So just anything that's actively running, is going to be just an active client. You can go back further, but yes, that's all retroactive. So again, and I haven't tested it for display. You may want to do that if you've got a display campaign, since that information's added. I don't know if they're adding inactive display campaigns, since again, it's a lot of information, but I do know for specifically geo products, if you've had something that ran in the past, like let's say a short term, like a Facebook events campaign, you would want to click on the View Inactive Clients. Okay. All right, so let's move on to our scenarios. So we're going to be doing some role playing with you guys. And Brett and I discussed we have 3 different scenarios for you, and we would like some volunteers from them. So the first one we're going to do is mobile. So before we get into it, can I get a couple volunteers to talk about mobile? What I need is one person who's going to be the sales rep, and then one person who's going to play the customer. And again,
I can volunteer. This is Julie.
Okay, great. Julie, thank you. Julie, do you want to be the sales rep or the customer?
Either one. I'll be the,
Why don't you be the customer, Julie?
sure, I'll be the customer.
Okay, and then who else said they
Libby, I can
volunteered?
be the sales rep.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Libby. So what I'm going to do is just read to you the scenario we're going to use. And again, we just wanted to make sure that we're talking openly with our customers about adding mobile impressions. So in this situation, Libby, you're going into an auto repair shop who has been running some desktop impressions with you for the past few months. Click-through results have been okay, but they haven't really been spectacular. You want to open up a dialogue about adding mobile impressions to their current campaign as a way of expanding their audience. Okay? Now,
Okay.
Julie, you're open to hearing about mobile ads, but you're really not sure how they work, and you're kind of concerned about their reach. So that's your kind of persona in this situation.
And did you say it's auto repair or like?
You're an auto repair shop. You run a garage, Julie's garage.
Okay.
Okay, you guys. So go ahead. So again, you're an active customer, Julie. So you know who she is. It's just she's going to open dialogue with you. So, all right, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Julie. Now, I know you have been running some display ads for a while. How are those going for you?
Well, it's okay. And I got the report on the click-through rate, and I just, I kind of thought it would be a little better, but it is helping a little bit.
Okay. Well, I had an idea I wanted to talk to you about today, something I had been thinking about. And I would guess I want to ask you, when you're in a scenario and let's say something happened and you're on the side of the road and your car has broke down and you need some, you're looking on your phone, you're doing something on your phone, where are you usually looking things up when you need something immediately? I would say it's on your mobile phone, and I think that's where most people are now, is they're constantly having their phones in their hands. So we are converting a lot of our customers into mobile impressions.
Oh.
And I wanted to talk to you about doing some of that, creating maybe more of a mobile campaign rather than a desk campaign. We've been doing some research lately, and over 60% of the eyes coming to our site are on a mobile phone. So I think that maybe if we shifted the campaign a little bit and did more of the mobile impressions, we could see some different results.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds great, because you're right. I would imagine, I guess if somebody's broken down, they're not going to have their computer right there to look it up. Is it the same price?
Well, there's some different pricing that's involved in the mobile ads, but something I think is important to remember is I think the quality of impressions are going to be stronger with the mobile. So even though you may not be getting as many impressions for the dollar per thousand,
Right.
I think the quality of the impressions on the mobile site are going to be stronger for you. A lot of our eyes now are coming from our app, or coming from searching for breaking news, or any way of that avenue through the mobile. And I think that even though, like I had mentioned, the price may be higher, I think the quality of the mobile impressions are going to be stronger, and that's where the eyes are right now.
Okay. Now, should I switch all of the budget from desktop to mobile, or do you think I should still keep some on desktop?
I think whatever you're comfortable with. Right now, I definitely think you should start out with a mix, and we can see and we can compare the impressions. I personally think mobile is where it's going to be and where it's at, and that's where the best place to put your advertising dollars are. But if you're more comfortable with doing a split between the two, then I think that'll be a good option for you.
Well, I actually have a little more money to start spending in the next 6 months. I'm a little nervous about taking it out of desktop. Could I just put some more into mobile?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is the perfect customer.
Julie, that was a softball, Julie. You love a softball.
I forgot in the beginning when I started talking that we were doing display, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if you're pulled over on the side of the road, so I tried to switch that over.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay. No.
Thanks, Julie.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, that was good.
That's the dream customer with more budget.
Yeah, that was nice and easy.
That was a very good job, really. And Libby, I liked how you added in the views. You know, the 60% of the views right now, over 60%,
Yeah, that was
coming in
good.
through mobile. That was really nice because that's important that they're aware that our readership is using mobile very actively. And that was a good thing to add.
Another thing.
Anybody? Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Oh, I just wanted to add one more thing. When they're talking about the split between desktop and mobile and all this, I would just say too that we've seen on average at least 3 to 5 times or more click through rate percentage wise when it comes to mobile versus desktop. That's one of the initiatives and why we're changing over. Not only does it make sense to do that because more and more people are coming on desktop or mobile, and it's going to be at the point where it's pretty much almost surpassing desktop traffic is mobile traffic, but we're just seeing the click-through rates being about 3 to 5 times more on mobile than desktop. And so when somebody says, what's the difference and should I try it, 50-50 split, I could say going into about 50-50 split, and then let's see about 2 to 3 weeks from now what it's looking like, but I can almost guarantee you that you're going to get a way better performance on mobile than you will on desktop. Then we can start basically allocating all that over to mobile. But if somebody's hesitant, you can always do a 50-50 comparison split, and then 2 or 3 weeks down the road see what it looks like. But you can always tell them too, like, I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to get about almost 3 times as much traffic, click-through rate wise. So those are all just the benefits, I guess, selling points. But you don't have to get too detailed, just list some of those things.
There's something else I'd suggest too is pull up our mobile site and kind of show them where the ads are actually placed. On a mobile phone, I mean, a 300 by 250 takes up a pretty good majority of the space. It's almost like, that ad is taking up the page. So showing them that and showing them how that can really impact, like Brett said, the click-through rate, because it is very prominent on a mobile phone. That's a great, scenario to show them right, in front of the customer. Does anyone want to add anything to this scenario? Any feedback from the team?
Hey, Scott, this is Julie. Now, it's my understanding that the click-through rate may not be as great, but the conversion rate's higher. Is that true kind of all across the board?
No. Well, the click-through rate on our end's been doing a lot better than desktop. We're getting a lot more. We might be getting less impressions, but we're getting more of a click-through rate. I think that's maybe what you're confused on a little bit. As far as the conversions, okay. I mean, the conversions can be there too because, me personally, I do even research on my phone versus unless I have, if I'm at work and sometimes if I have some free time, I might do some research. But as far as just the desktop is concerned, I'm really more, if I'm relaxing or if I'm after work or if I need to, research something, if I'm in front of the TV or just hanging around, I'll just open my phone up and start researching stuff.
Right.
Probably, I'm thinking that's what a lot of people do too, are starting the trend too.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next scenario. So scenario number 2, I need 2 volunteers before we jump into it. So I need someone who's going to play the customer. I need someone who's going to play the sales rep. And if I don't get volunteers, Brett and I are going to pick one.
I'll do the customer.
Okay, Steve, that's you?
Yep.
All right, and so I need a sales rep in this situation, please.
You there, Leah?
Yep, I'm here.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but I think we only have 2 people from Livingston right now. I think.
Yeah, that's fine. I just don't know what the scenario is.
That's okay. We'll read it.
Leah, it's going to be very simple. I'll read through it real quick, and this is probably something you're already doing.
Yeah.
So we want to, since targeted impressions have been a real, emphasis for us right now, the scenario in this is that you are going into a high-end furniture store.
Okay.
Now, they've been running it, again, they're an active customer. They're running impressions with you on our local.com site. But you've done some research, and you know that this kind of business is actually drawing from a much larger radius than they're reaching right now. And you also did some research on AdMall and found that their best target audience is women ages 35 to 55 who have a higher income level and probably have an interest in like home improvements, like HGTV and things like that, like anything home improvement related. So what you want to do is you want to open up a dialogue with this customer about using targeted impressions on the Michigan.com premium network as a way to reach their audience. Okay?
Okay.
So that's your role. It's just basically opening up that dialogue about expanding their impression reach from local.com into a wider area, and especially with your target. Now, Steve, you definitely want to reach your local community, and you do see a need to reach a new audience, but you're kind of skeptical about going outside your usual market. You know, my neighborhood's my neighborhood. Who I've always sold to is kind of your attitude in this situation.
Perfect. I have one of those.
Okay, so you know, go ahead, guys. To start off, again, Steve, you're an active customer, so there's not an animosity. You're definitely someone who's running with us, and you do like the product so far.
Are you telling me not to be mean?
I'm telling you not to be mean. Yes. So go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Steve. How's it going today?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous, Leah. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I wanted to come in today to talk to you about your current local.com campaign on Livingston Daily. How do you think that's going for you?
It's pretty well. I think we're getting some kind of response. I'm not really sure how to view the response I'm getting, though.
Right. I know we can track the clicks and we know that it's going out to the local community, but I wanted to ask you today, how far do you see your customers coming from currently, because we're only targeting Livingston right now?
Well, the majority of my clientele comes from my direct community,
right.
And our target audience, but I do see a little bit of action from outside of my normal region.
Right. Okay. And did you happen to know that we are part of Michigan.com?
Michigan.com? How in the world did you get that URL?
Well, actually, because we are a Gannett company, Michigan.com, we actually put all of our markets in the state of Michigan under one umbrella. So we actually are affiliated with companies such as the Lansing State Journal, Detroit Free Press, Port Huron Times Herald. So we kind of have a much broader reach than just in Livingston County. So I wanted to bring that up to you because we have some really interesting ad opportunities for you where we can actually go out and target your exact customer in those larger markets, not just focusing on Livingston County. Oops.
Wow, well, that sounds interesting. I mean, do you mean you wanna do this on top of what we're already doing?
We can include what we're currently doing, but I would suggest adding even a little bit more of your budget, or we can divide your budget up and kind of go into more of a targeted audience into those other markets, which would be we can actually go after just women ages 35 to 55 with a higher income, so we're actually hitting those exact people that will be looking for furniture.
Oh, well, that sounds interesting. Where would these ads be going? Where would they show?
Well, the ads actually, it's cool with our targeted campaigns. We can actually go in a much broader ad space. So instead of just being on desktop, we actually can also be on your mobile phone too. And that's kind of where we're seeing more of our customers going, is right on their phones all the time. I'm sure you've seen customers in your store always on their smartphones.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Go is huge.
Oh yeah.
Pokemon's in my store.
Oh yeah, have you played yet?
No, I haven't. I'm holding out.
Oh yeah. Well, very cool. But yeah, so we can actually target all of those people that are on their phones all the time, and also hit the people that are just researching furniture right in their homes on their desktop computer. So it's really going with the targeted display is a much more, I want to say, successful, and it's just a really great way to reach your market rather than just being on livingstondaily.com.
I agree. I'm going to call and cancel my YP right now.
Awesome. I like to hear that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that was good. Thank you, Steve. That was good. You asked some good questions. I think, Leah, you did a really nice job bringing up, your research. I think that's a big part to mention is like, I've done some research for you. This is what I found. Is that similar to what you're finding? Just kind of get that buy-in from the customer. And I think the biggest thing with our premium network is you can still geo-target. It's just that, because of the way the content's being distributed, they could still be living in Livingston County and reading information coming in from Lansing or from Detroit or from O&E. So it's really basing it on, as a Michigan.com premium network, It's not where you're reaching, it's who you're reaching. With that targeted audience, it's who versus, exactly where. Traffic's coming in from all over because of the nature of news. Anybody want to add some stuff?
Hey, Scott, it's me.
Yeah.
Just saying that, we have a diversified approach and saying, what exactly, where exactly is this coming from and all this. I mean, Leah did a really great job. Just saying that we have the capacity to basically, we have profiles built out in each one of these websites that, that we own under Michigan.com. And that basically we can target any type of people who have interests in certain, in certain industries, in hobbies, in any subjects that they're interested in. So we can actually target those people. We have a high readership. All of our sites have the most traffic of any media sites that are around in the state. And so that knowing that we have all that traffic both on desktop and mobile, we can really profile the advertising objectives that we have for each one of the prospects and basically go out and diversify. I think I haven't used that word before, but I think that's a really good word when we're talking about targeted impressions and mobile, is diversification. And then also knowing that as advertising evolves, just as it's evolving right now, we're going to get more mobile, we're going to get more targeted as the future, as everything progresses. So going in that direction and telling them, saying, we're on top of how the trends are going in the advertising world, and that we have the largest readership, the highest quality readership, in our repertoire. Just saying those things and just basically saying some, overreaching stuff is just, without even getting too technical, is really how you can, highlight some of those points. So, but good job, both you guys.
Yeah, excellent. Any other feedback from the team?
Yeah, I'll say something. This is Kelly. You guys did a great job. I loved it. Both teams did great. A lot of times when I try to go out and explain Michigan.com, one of the ways that I break it down is usually I tell them, just like Leah was saying, that, it's our whole Michigan network. So you want to reach those women that are in that age group with that higher income. But also, the way that this works is because not everybody has just the Livingston Daily on their phone. Janie's from Battle Creek. She probably has the Battle Creek Inquirer on her phone so she can track stuff. These people can, Howell, Livingston County, we have a lot of commuters. Just because they live here, maybe they work in Lansing. Maybe they're a Michigan State fan. Maybe, they're from Lansing. So, these apps are they're targeting those people that are local but are looking for news in other areas. So it's really good, to explain it at that level. They can be standing in Howell, but they still could have the Lansing State Journal app on their phone, or they could have the Battle Creek Inquirer on their phone. And you're going to reach that person not only now through the Livingston Daily, but through the Battle Creek Inquirer as well. So that was just usually how I explain, if that helps anybody.
It's good.
Yep. And we're also keeping in mind too, like if you guys are adding impressions on an app, this is like a lot of the traffic we do get as well is coming in through the M sites. So if it's someone just visiting m.livingstondaily.com or m.hometownlife.com, so that's a lot of traffic. I know sometimes our app traffic is varying, but make sure if you want to add app traffic, we can help you walk through that on Order Hub. So, okay, we're based on time. We're just going to go through the next one. Actually, I know Livingston. I know we some of the reps are off and stuff. So Kelly, I might ask you to play the customer in this scenario, and then I'd like to have a rep volunteer. And this is a real quick one. It's very easy to do. We're going to talk about just opening up dialogue about SEO brand building. So Kelly, would you mind playing the customer in this scenario? Hello? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry. My mic wouldn't turn off. I had it muted and it didn't want to unmute.
Okay, sorry. So if you don't mind, if you would play the customer in this scenario, and then I need a volunteer from the team to play the sales rep for SEO brand building? Anybody out there want to volunteer for this? Okay, we're going to pick somebody then.
I'll do it. All right. What do you want me to do, customer or sales?
Well, as I mentioned, I'd like Kelly to play the customer,
Okay.
and then as the sales rep. Steve, actually, in this case, it's a really simple one. You're going into a local dentist who recently created a new website in the last few months. During your prep and plan, you notice that the dentist is showing up on page 3 of the Google results. Okay? Of Google results, not the Google. Also, the dentist has started a new innovative program focusing on painless procedures. Okay? The dentist has some vague knowledge about SEO and states they ran a program like 4 or 5 years ago on their old website. So you basically just want to open up a dialogue about kind of like new SEO developments and how brand building is the emphasis now and how it can help them. Okay? So it's just basically opening up a dialogue about SEO and the importance of it and the changes that have happened since 4 or 5 years ago. Now, Kelly, from your end, you're definitely interested in hearing about brand building and how to feature your new procedure to a wider audience. You're also concerned that you're showing up on page 3 of Google and not page 1.
Okay.
Easy breezy? All right.
Easy breezy.
Steve, thanks for volunteering twice. Guys, next time we're just going to start picking people. When we do these role plays, it's important that you guys, and participate too, other people. So, Steve, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. Why don't you guys go ahead and start?
Hey, Dr. Kelly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How are you, Steve? Nice to see you.
Oh, it's always nice to see me, isn't it?
It is.
So anyways, I wanted to stop in and talk to you today. I was doing some research, and I noticed that you aren't appearing very high on Google search results. Did you happen to know that?
Well, I just don't know about all this stuff. It's so crazy all the time. I did some search engine stuff before, like a while ago. I don't understand why I would have fell back, but I noticed the other day when I was looking for some other dentists that offer my new program that I wasn't on the first page anymore, and I don't really understand why.
Well, through my research, it appears that you're showing up on page 3, which obviously is never really a good thing when it comes to Google. Typically, people won't go past the first page, and a very large percentage will click on one of the top 3 results. So if you're not appearing on those top 3 results, then you're definitely losing some opportunity. As far as the SEO goes, do you know when you ran your SEO program?
It was a really long time ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I had somebody just do it for me because I don't completely understand. It has something to do with your website and making sure that the stuff in the back is good, and then you're okay as long as your stuff's in the back. And I just updated my website, so I don't understand why I would fall back.
Okay. Well, as you know, Google is just constantly changing. They are in just a constant state of change. They're always reevaluating their algorithms and what they decide is important. Recently, they've decided that what is truly important for a search result is content, updated content, most recent content. So they're looking for consistent activity on your end to help increase your ranking in a search result. So if you ran a program 4 or 5 years ago on your old website, more than likely Google has viewed that as you stopped 4 or 5 years ago. So what we need to do is start looking at what we can do now to start showing Google that you are back on the scene, you're producing fresh content, consistent content, and they will view that and start to reward you in the search results. Does that make sense?
So basically, even though I just updated my site, I'm kind of like starting over a little bit because they've changed what they're looking for.
They're pretty much always changing what they're looking for, and updating your site is a good start. But their SEO is stackable, so you definitely, like I said, updating your website is a good start, but you want to continue. And we do offer something called SEO brand building. It's a relatively new product based on Google's new algorithm for how they rank search results. And beyond that, guys, I don't really know much about the SEO brand building package.
That's fine. That's fine.
So basically, what you're saying is that I need to have more than just my website, and I don't have time for that because now you're telling me content. So I'm assuming content means like other places like Twitter, and my kids do that. I don't do that. So basically, you guys would do that part for me.
Yes.
And make it all work together, kind of.
We would be handling your digital presence and consistently updating your website, consistently updating blog posts and content posts and things of that nature to start showing Google that you're back on the scene and that you want to climb the ranks.
All right, well, I think we should talk about this further because of that, my new program, and I'm one of the only people that offers that, so I really want people to know that. And when I was looking around the other day, I mean, the closest person is like 45 miles from here that does the same program. So we should talk.
And honestly, I think that's something we could definitely focus on. What I'd really like to do is bring in my digital specialist. He's just an incredible encyclopedia of knowledge on this. So how about we set down a time in the future for me and my specialist to come by and talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah, I think that we should do that, and my office manager should be there too because she's kind of my backup on helping me make sure that I've got all this marketing straightened out. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely, sounds good.
And I have a $5,000 budget, just so you know.
$5,000? Nope. You mean $5,000 a month?
Yeah, and I'm going to give it all to you because you came to visit me today.
Excellent. Boy, this is just swell.
Softballs lobbed everywhere. All right. Well, you guys, that was actually good, and I think again it was just Stevie did a great job opening up that dialogue. Of you found some results, you showed a concern, you pretty much pointed out a pain point of not being so far back on Google results. That nice job. So, anybody have any feedback they want to give the team, the group here for the scenario?
Yeah, I was just going to say something real quick. You guys did really good, by the way. One thing that you want to talk about, the difference between SEO brand building and the other SEO that somebody might be familiar with is that I think a lot of people out there have a vague understanding of what SEO is a little bit. And every time that we're going out there, we're listening to what they're saying. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, I got keywords. Right. So, and we hear that all the time, and the difference you want to make with brand building and what they traditionally think about SEO is that we're not just focusing on keywords. It's like, one piece of the pie or a smaller piece of the pie. What we want to focus on now are topics and subjects and, interests that are in your industry, and we want to write about those. We want to put those on social channels. We also want to incorporate your name, address, and phone number because that's what's actually going to be included in the package. That on how you actually get ranked on both not only your web pages and on organic positions, on your search engine results, but then also the maps positions. So we're both taking care of the maps, organic page positions, and then social. We're having a lot of social signals, and what we're meaning by that is we're pointing the content back to the social sites. We are writing content, and we're focusing on content and topics instead of just focusing on keywords. And those are the main distinctions between old SEO and new SEO. And we're also, like Steve said, getting on top of everything that Google's doing with new algorithmic updates. So those are the things that brand building is all about, is building your brand through topics and subjects, and so the search engines can know the context behind the meaning of that content that's being built out, and not just populating keywords or putting information on the back end of a website, which we still do. We just don't focus on that all the time. We don't make that our main focus as it was in the past. So, but good job, guys. Everything.
Yeah, I think you guys did great today. Thank you so much. The participation was awesome, so we really appreciate you doing that. We're at about a little after 8:35 here, and I could start wrapping things up. Any feedback from the team? Any questions? We are open to doing role play. You can approach me, Brett. You can approach Janie, Grace, Kelly, anytime to do a quick role play. No embarrassment. It's just a simple, we're trying to help you. So, anybody?
I just want to say high five, team. I was impressed. So keep it up. And, as we, every one of us, there's a lot, like Brett just rolled out that SEO branding very easily. He's so close to it. That's what we all have to do, is be able to roll it off our tongue. And the more we do, the more conviction we come across with, and we're not, struggling with what, our words. And it's okay, guys. Digital is gonna consistently change, and we're not all gonna be perfect at it right away. So I love this, and I actually just sent Brett and Scott an email that they did a heck of a job. I love the scenarios, and I love the participation, and we're just going to incorporate this into one role play every single DCOP, do a couple at each meeting until we really just have that swagger. And don't ever forget to show and tell when you're rolling out this information. Have your iPad up, have your computer up to a tab. So, the fact that, we're using topics versus keywords, there's tons of articles out there now. You could get an infographic from Google to display that, so it's a third-party information. And guys, we're the first in the game at this. This is new to SEO. It's a new, approach, and we are in it, and we are ready to fulfill it. And Google's going to like our campaigns more than anybody else's campaigns. So